we're gonna go over a major topic today in the industry of real estate, of what's actually happening and what's taking place in the industry. Currently, right now, at this present moment, there are a lot of investors panicking. Why are they panicking? We're gonna get into that. Also, there are a lot of investors bleeding the business because they just don't know what actually is gonna happen. A lot of stuff taking place right now. So I want to dive in a little bit, give you my experience, what I've experienced in the past 2 to 3 weeks. I had a refi that I put money into, a flip that we actually didn't net a profit. We actually broke even on that flip. Also, we have a potential flip right now that's going to yield a huge amount of a profit. So the market right now is a little tricky. So you got to learn how to navigate this market. And if you don't navigate it, you might slip and fall. But I'm gonna give you guys some tips, also learn from my experience of what to do and what not to do in this particular market, as the market is forever changing and as the climate of everything is changing right now. So you wanna be very cautious of what you're doing. This video is only intended to give you guys some caution, direction, and some clarity from my perspective. So if you're an investor and everything's going well for you, you can go ahead and skip this video. But if you're in a little bit of a rough patch right now in real estate, or you're just thinking about getting real estate, you want to know what market you're entering into real estate, watch the whole video. You get some good insight. And if you have any questions, leave any comments below. I'll make sure to tag along a few of my free resources so you guys can utilize to help you make real estate full circle. Okay, so as I'm presently sitting here in the office, there's a lot on my mind that I want to actually bring to the table, but we're going to stick to what we discussed as far as the market. Currently, what I'm experiencing in the market right now, the market is going up, down, and flatline. Up, down, and flatline. So what does that mean for you? In certain pockets, the market is going up. In certain markets, the market is going down. In certain markets, it's just a flat line. Let me break this down for you. Right now, if you're in the hood of the hood, let me clarify this. There's different hoods. If you guys don't know, if you're investing, people sort of quote unquote call it gentrified areas or redevelopment areas, but let's just call it what it is, right? So as these areas are growing, certain pockets, people still do not want to live in. They don't care what you do to the property. You made it look great. They don't want to deal with the crime. They don't want to deal with the headache. They want the kids to live there. They don't care what the heck is going on. They refuse to buy it, which forces you to make the property into a rental, which is what happened to me in one of our properties in Apopka, Florida. The house sat for 6 months. I was paying interest payments for 6 months. Mind you, I renovated the property for 3 months. So 9 months into this property, almost 10 months, and nothing. It was to the point where if I sold the property, I would actually break even or maybe lose money. When I thought about it, I was like, nah. Let me hold on to it, convert it to a rental. I had to put more money into it when I did the refi. I call it the refi from hell. And you guys follow me on social media or any platform, you probably saw this whole little series of the refi from hell. And it was because I had to put $27,000 in addition to my $40,000 I had to put down on my down payment, in addition to the $2,000 I was paying every month of interest. So do the math. I'm frustrated as hell. But nonetheless, that's the market that is actually going down for flipping. It might be good for you to rent, but it's not good for you to flip. So be cautious of that. Now, if you're finding markets where you have a mixture of rentals and homeowners and you don't think it's the best area, you can still flip in this area because that's giving you the opportunity to make money. However, if you're not doing that, please take a moment to pause before you put your money into these deals. Because what happens is that you go in there thinking that you're gonna make $40,000, $50,000 and you turn out, you have to rent it. What are you going to do to extract the deposit you put down on these properties? Remember, sometimes flipping requires you to put 10, 20% down. If you don't have any plans for this money and you're okay with it sitting inside of the property for a year or two, then that makes sense, right? You can go ahead and sit into it and don't worry about it and it'll be okay. However, if you have plans for this money, don't do it. Find a better asset class you can put into a rental. Maybe go into a B class asset. Don't go into a C or D. A lot of investors are flipping houses in D and C areas. I don't do that. I'm only flipping at the lowest C class areas. I'm not doing D class or anything below that. It doesn't make sense in this market. Don't get caught up in the hype. You want to do stuff for social media and look good and you end up losing money, or you don't do anything. You waste 6 months. Oh, quote unquote, I learned, I made an experience. That don't make any sense. So let's go into the areas where the market is actually going up. So I'm in Florida. So the areas where the market is going up for me is like areas like Winter Garden, Claremont, Like I flipped the property in the vicinity of Ocoee and it shot to the moon. Within 2-3 weeks, offer, money in the bank. So that's telling me those areas are the attracted areas. We call these the growth areas. So if you're doing your map, you're doing your due diligence, look at the maps. Find the growth areas where homes are selling under 60 days. If it's taking too long, actually, I had a whole reference of a song in my head, but don't worry about that. But if it's taking too long for you to actually sell a property, just don't even do it. Realistically, take your time, go into a different area where you can move the property faster. Remember, flipping is actually flipping. It means time is of the essence. So you don't flip the same property for 6, 8, 9, 10 months. Although it's not realistic and you gotta sell it, you plan on being in the property 3 to 6 months. That is your target flipping. So if you're trying to flip in those areas, okay, I'll give you another example. Down in South Florida, my cousin Greg, he's doing flipping right now. So in Vero Beach area and some other areas in West Palm Beach, Royal Palm Beach, some areas are just going, choo. So that's a good area. Now I'm gonna tell you what the areas right now things are flatlining. So think about your city, where you live right now. Think about the places that are almost rural areas, but they're not rural areas. You know those areas like, for example, for me, I would tell you, if I live in Orlando, I'm going to Titusville. It's not really growing, it's not really going down, it's just flatline. There may be a small curve going up, because people are going to tell you from 2 years ago, we have an increase. But is that increase on a massive scale? Does that mean that 10,000 houses that's turning versus a population of like Orlando, if that increase gives the uptick, that's probably, if you really look at the numbers, probably 30, 40,000 homes. So that gives you the opportunity to make more money. So areas that have low density, if it's an uptick, is it really a massive uptick? No. It's really a flat line that's slowly creeping up. But that's a slow creep up for you. But does that help you in flipping the property? Not necessarily. So you want to find something that's probably, I say flat lines are predominantly rentals. And when the market surges, you sell. So it's a good asset class is to put some money into it, let it sit, collect the rents, and then when it surges, you sell and cash out. That's what you do. So what I want you guys to really understand in this video is just not to kind of scare you or try to tell you not to get into real estate. It's really just advising you. Now, from my perspective, I'm not your advisor, I'm just telling you, hey, what to do. And if you're in a situation where you're like, oh, I want to get in, I don't want to get in, this is kind of give you some information to make a healthy decision for your finances. So another thing I want to kind of really go into is refis. A lot of investors that I'm telling you, they're refiing. It's like refi bananas right now. I refied, hell, I can count almost 6 properties at this moment. So refis are what's currently happening. People are holding properties because they don't want to lose money. And what they're doing is they're banking on the future. So a lot of investors are banking on the future sales of certain properties. For example, I have a friend who has a property right now for $700,000 on the market. And he's been getting a little bit low ball offers. So he can not make a profit, break even and get out the deal. Or he can refi, rent it, or do Airbnb, or whatever the case may be, hold it for 24 months and not pay the interest only payments, and then when it goes up, sell. So what I want to kind of give you guys to really bring everything full circle real quick is when you're in this market, make sure you're on an uptick area that you want to flip. Don't go in the flat line. Flat line is for rentals. And if you're in a down curve, unless you're trying to put money for the future, you're thinking about regentrification of huge, massive growth in about 5 to 6 or 10 years, then go ahead and do that, right? Create a rental out of it. But I want you guys to be very educated, very informed on what's going on in the market. And I'm only speaking from my whole bubble, right? My bubble is Florida, but I also see a lot because I lend money in different states. So I see some things that take place in Georgia, but that's not everywhere. Like Atlanta's different, that's a whole beast. But on the outskirts of Atlanta, things a little bit different. So keep this in mind, do your homework, do your research. I make these videos so you guys can have a better understanding and making the picture full circle for you in real estate. If you guys are investing in Orlando or anywhere in Florida, or I can lend money in all 50 states, but really 48. Just reach out to me, I'll get you funded on any of your deals, whether it's residential, commercial, if you're trying to do a fix and flip, if you're trying to build a rental portfolio, I can do these refis for you if you need a refi or you want to buy a rental portfolio that's on a massive scale, anywhere between $1 to $2 million. We we can get these things funded. And if you have vacant land and you want to build on that, we can also help you with that. So I want to make this video to give you guys education on a weekly basis and also give you an update on the market. So if you found some value in this, leave some comment below. If anything you want me to discuss or talk about, that's a talking point, just leave it in the comments. Do me a huge favor, just like this video, share it with someone who you think wants to get into real estate, or someone who's just intrigued and they might want to get a little bit of information. I try to keep everything as holistic and real as possible so you guys have a better picture of real estate. All right, this is Guirand, you're a realtor investor. I am out.